Hey everybody, welcome to the Rustic South. Today we have 3 crafts we're going to be doing. One of them is a cutting board kind of thing from Dollar Tree, which is our first one. Here it is. So I take the cutting board, I've had it for a little while, and I take it outside, I sand off the paper top, right? So now we're going to paint it. I'm going to mix, actually we're going to paint a Saltbox house, if you guys know what that is. On them. I kind of like those. I have an affinity for them a little bit, so we're going to paint one on here, also because I like to paint. So I'm just going to freehand a house on this. There really is no size to the house I'm going to make, but if you've seen these cutting boards at Dollar Tree, so I put that ruler across there just to kind of make my roof line, even on both sides, so it doesn't look too wonky. So now I'm going to take the blue and the black of the apple barrel paint and mix them together. Mostly blue with some black because I like a darker blue for these colors. It would also be cute in like a red, not red, but like a burnt red, or a mustardy yellow brown, or even a green, a dark blue green. So you find a lot of them in those kind of colors. So I'm doing a side view, if you will, but the front door is on the side of the house. So I have been looking on Etsy, and I saw some different salt houses on there. I thought they were cute. So I wanted to do one on this cutting board. So right now I have a chalk, it's like a chalk stick. You get them at Dollar Tree. What are these called? Craft Decor Chalk Writer. Okay, so I have that, and I have it, oh no, actually right now I'm using a black, like, paint pen. Do I have that handy? I have a black paint pen. Yeah, so they're like a handheld paint pen. So right now I'm just painting some oblong rectangles, if you will, for windows, and then we're going to outline those with the chalk writer that I was referencing. So so I did 6 across the top, and I think I did 2 more windows near the front door, if you will. After I started doing this, I was like, I should have used a lighter color on this so that you could see the windows better, but that's when I decided to use the white chalk writer and also some white. I did get out the white paint as well. So you'll see me here eventually, I think, add the extra windows here. Yeah, so there's the chalk writer that I have in my hand there. And the black paint pen and the blue that I actually painted on there dried pretty quickly because on top of the board is just paper, right? So it dried fairly quickly. I am making sure that it's dry before I go putting other stuff on top of it, right? So I kind of sharpen one edge of the chalk writer to make it kind of a thin line, okay? And if you have a white paint pen, which I didn't have one, I thought I did, but I didn't seem to find it, you could use that, right? I was just using what I had. And then eventually I think I decided to use white paint, because I decided to make little window panes in the windows and make little like ledges for the top and bottom of the windows. Okay. And then we're going to put a star on the top because I like my long-legged primitive star. I think I eventually paint this to white. I can't remember if I do, but we'll find out. It's been a rough week around here, the past week or so, so it's been a little bit since I've put out a video. It took me a while to compile these. My computer kept telling me my disk was full, so I had to move some stuff. Anyway, so we've got the star painted. You know, I saw some of them on Etsy had crows. So I'm using a little white to kind of I'm not sure what I was using that white for. I think because I maybe got out of the line a little bit in a few places, so I was kind of trying to fix those. Maybe it was a little too white for me, you know. If the white is too bright, it gets a little, you know, I start not to like it so much. So here I'm sitting and rethinking, let's see, is this turning out the way I want it to be? So I think this is where I decided to add 2 more windows. Okay, so I decided to take off the chalk paint around the windows, and I think I used white paint. I left this blooper in because, you know, everybody makes a mistake, and, you know, sometimes you just got to do things over or think another way, right? So here I'm getting out the white paint, and we're going to, in a very thin brush, go around the windows with the white paint. And I actually like it better with the white paint. I don't know why. I mean, the chalk would have been fine. But for whatever reason, and I was just going to do one side of the window, and then I decided, no, I wanted to put window panes in, so I needed to do both sides of the window. So eventually we do all sides of the window. You know, I put this this little cutting board, I put it on my what are those called? You know, where you set little miniatures on your counter. I don't know, that word is totally escaping me. So I set it on, you'll see at the end, I have pictures of it sitting on my little countertop miniature display. Oh, words are kind of difficult today for that. I cannot remember the name of that thing for anything. Anyway, eventually at some point I do put 2 more windows on here. I keep thinking about, there I put 2 more windows down there. I kind of wanted to draw a crow on here, but I've never painted or drawn a crow before, so I was very apprehensive to do that because I just felt like it needed something else, right? So eventually I decide to draw a flag on a flagpole is what I eventually do. Now, if you don't have these little cutting boards, you can do this on any piece of wood, right? On any piece of extra wood that you have laying around the house. So here we're putting little ledges, if you will, on the windows. It just adds a little more dimension. And then I think I end up putting a chimney on the top. And I make a little sign for over the door that says 1776. So here I'm using burnt umber brown paint from Apple Barrel to paint the brown chimney. Let me take this opportunity to ask everybody if you're enjoying the video or my other videos, if you're a returning friend or a new friend. If you like what you see, please like, subscribe, and share, would you please? Okay, so here's that, and I'm like, yeah, there needs to be a little more something on here. Okay, so yes, please like, subscribe, and share. Okay, so this, now I decided we need a little more something, right? I'm not going to leave this white. If you see my videos, you know I'm not crazy about leaving things just bright white. So I decided to get out some brown tissue paper. It has no print on it. It's just brown. It's from Hobby Lobby. And I decided I'm going to Mod Podge this on around the outside of the house over the rest of the cutting board. I like it because it adds that old world effect to it, because it adds brown, you know, and a lot of old world things are brown, or, you know, light brown or dark brown, and I love brown with blue. And after I started putting this on, I realized, you know, I'm making this paper a little too perfect, because I like the wrinkled look that tissue paper once in a while does on things. And on this kind of thing, I wish on one side I made it a little more wrinkled. First side I didn't make it wrinkled, but I wish I would have. So you might want to keep that in mind if you know, like that kind of look. I don't go for perfect in my crafts, right? I even crumpled it up, right? I like that kind of look. So you might want to just crumple it up. But you could even use, if you don't have tissue paper, you could even use like lunch sacks. Yeah, it's going to be thicker paper, but it's still going to work just fine, because you don't need to be able to see through it for any reason, right? We're not covering the house. So, yeah, so I use tissue paper to cover up all the white spots, and even a little bit of the chimney. And, you know, then I go back over with a finger sander, and I sand a little bit to make it a little more rougher around the edges and in the middle and stuff. So, you know, if you like your things perfect, then yeah, you know, do the Mod Podging in the paper the way you like it, right? But if you don't mind a little character, then, you know, I like it. I decided that I liked it, that crumpled look. So I started being a little more free-flowing, if you will, with the paper, the tissue paper. So yeah, I cover all of the white with brown. And we will sand this in a minute. We're also going to paint the flagpole and the flag on the left side of the cutting board there in a minute. You know, and that's the first time I ever painted a flag before, It was a little intimidating at first, but I went for it. For me, it turned out fine. I found one on the internet on Etsy that somebody had painted, and I thought it was cute the way that they had done it. So I took took their idea and did pretty much what they had done. And you can see on there now over the door, I made a little sign that says 1776 on it. I just took a little piece of paper and a very fine point, ultra fine point X-Acto marker and wrote 1776 on it. You know, somewhere we have to have a sign on there, right? Somewhere. So I use the sandpaper and I scruff it up a little bit so it's not so perfect. I even scuffed up the chimney, but you know what? That's fine. Right? That's going to be okay. Tone down that blue a little bit. But you don't have to, but that's just my preference. Okay, so there's that part, but now I'm going to be like, This is a little piece of paper that I cut off that tag there and made it. There you can see it. Okay, so here we go for the flag and the flagpole. I'm sorry I don't remember what Etsy shop I saw these on, but I just kind of looked up Saltbox house on Etsy, and one came up that had a flag. It was really cute. Some of them had trees. The trees were really cute. I was very much drawn to the trees, but since this cutting board is not that big, I decided to add a flag. Also, you know, we have Independence Day and a few other, you know, holidays coming up that we like to decorate with flag motif. So I thought that, you know, this would be a little start into that. So here I draw a square. Eventually we'll put a white star in the middle of the blue square. And then we will, here's the white. We're going to draw more of a white rectangle here so that we can make these stripes. So for this project, you will need the cutting board or some kind of wood, some paint in blue, black, red, and white, and brown for the chimney, some tissue paper or other kind of paper if you, wish to do that for the background, or, you could just paint it brown. But I like the texture of the tissue paper on it. Right? So here I'm going to, get out the red, yes, the crimson. I'm going to make some stripes, and then just to tone down the flag to make it not look so brand new, I'm going to either use some more of that brown paint that's been watered down from the chimney, or one of my ink pads to kind of, grunge up. I didn't count the stripes. I'm not trying to make this, the perfect flag, of course. It's just a little miniature version, of course. Okay, so So that's all I'm doing with the flag. I'm not trying to be perfect with the stripes and so forth. Okay, the number of stripes and things. So I did not do any counting on the stripes. So here I'm putting a white star in there. You guys can be amazed what you guys can do if you just, you know, go for it and overcome your fears of painting and so forth, right? So here's the burnt umber. So let's see what I do with that. I think I put a little bit of it around the around the edge of the star. Let's turn on the bright light so we can see a little better here. So yeah, I go around the edge of the star with the brown a little bit. Kind of a little bit over the stripes of the flag, because I don't want them too bright red. I want it to look aged, right? And then I might go over the star on the house too. I can't remember. Now, I do fix that little spot there with brown, and I wish I had just left it alone because I actually like it before I messed with it, see? And I was like, why did I do that? After I did, I was like, no, I didn't like it, but it soaked into the paper. So anyway, I actually liked it scuffed off, but okay. I think that little star on the top of the house, if I don't do it here, it needs to be grunged up a little bit. Okay, thank you. So yeah, so I tone that down a little. It's a little too bright for me. I do the white on the windows a little, tone it down. A little sign, which I think I did on the sign earlier. I didn't show you guys making the sign, but you know, you guys don't need me to show you that little making of that little sign, right? Okay, so that's pretty much it for the cutting board. But I do take some rope. I had gotten some white nautical rope from Dollar Tree. It's been a while. I don't know if I've seen it there lately, but I have some of it. I had grunged it. It's not too badly grunged, but it's not white anymore either. It's coffee stained. So I do put it, there it is, as a close-up of the house. And there it is on my little stand in the kitchen. So here's project number 2, guys. So these cups, they come in a set of 3, as you see on the screen. I'm going to take them outside and spray paint them brown. Now I spray paint them, I think it's called Warm Caramel, I think is what it's called, by Rust-Oleum. And forgive me, I'm holding the camera and I'm trying to spray paint this, and it always turns out like a hot mess when I do this. If you get motion sickness, I'm so sorry, because this kind of thing makes me have motion sickness, so I apologize if it's bothering you. But I just kind of wanted to show you what I do. I keep this pan, and it's got cinnamon all kind of paint sprayed in it. And I just, so I took all 3 of them, I took them outside, spray painted them brown. Then I take my cinnamon, I sprinkle the cinnamon on, and then I spray paint more, and then I sprinkle more cinnamon on, and I roll it around in the pan, and then I spray it some more, and then I gently pick them up and move them and put another one in. And then eventually I spray them with a finishing top coat. In a minute I think you'll see the can, but I don't know if I show you the brand. I can't think of it. They have it at your big box stores, okay? It's a finishing spray, like clear lacquer kind of finishing spray, okay? And it makes your cinnamon adhere better to the cup. It makes the cinnamon turn very dark brown. And I think I'm getting near the bottom of my can of my spray, because I think I take Podge and paint it on the outside of these, because they didn't seem to be as well coated with the spray as I normally can get it. So I think I need another can. So what I did too on this, I gave them each a coat of Mod Podge on the outside. And then I probably sprinkled more cinnamon on them, because that's just me, right? I just like that grungy look. So I did this to all 3 of these cups. You can get them at Dollar Tree. They come in a set of 3. So here's a look at the finishing. There it is. I do show you matte finish by Krylon. That's it, Krylon. Okay, so that's what I spray on there at the end, and then I even sprinkle more cinnamon on there typically. Never can have enough cinnamon. Okay, you don't have to worry about doing the insides of them. I just do the outsides so that the cinnamon adheres. It turns dark brown when you're spraying it on. The color is just magnificent if you like grungy. Okay. Also, too, you know, you can put any kind of, when you get done here, you could put, you know, you could do paint a star on here if you like the stars, if you want a heart, or if you want to put homespun on it, right? You could put some homespun around the middle of the candle. I was going to also make handles for these, but I couldn't figure out how to do it without it looking cheesy, okay? So I didn't do it. I'm still contemplating doing it on mine, putting a bottom in the cups and then putting a handle that comes out from the bottom of the cup, because we're going from the bottom of the cup, meaning what it's sitting on now. So that's, I'm calling that the bottom, because we're using the bottom as our top here. So so I was contemplating putting a circle in the bottom and having a handle come out, but I haven't done that yet. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take white and some very light brown. Let me see what the name of that brown is. It's called Khaki by Apple Barrel. First I paint these. No, let's see, I dilute the khaki with a little bit of the white from Apple Barrel, and now we're painting. These are quarter rollers from Dollar Tree or Walmart. You can get them at Walmart or Dollar Tree. And I take them and I just cut them about halfway. Okay, cut the rollers in half, and I'm going to use that as my holder for the candle on top of the cup. I can't remember if I've showed you guys this before or not. You may have seen this from somebody else as well. Excuse me, too much talking. So paint all three of them, because we have 3 cups that we're doing. 3 candle holders, we're calling it now, right, that we're doing. And if you cut your coin wrappers and they seem like they're coming apart, just, you know, use your stick glue or some hot glue and glue them back together. Okay, so there's the coin wrapper. So okay, in this craft, there are candlesticks that you can get at Dollar Tree. Candlesticks. They come in packages of 2, or at least they did. And they have a candlestick, which I think they're timer, I think. And then they have a little gold base on them. And the base, and they actually come with a suction cup, which I think you can put those in the window, in your windows or door or something. So I take those. I had taken those and I had grunged those with the same technique as you saw me earlier. I painted it brown, and then I took and sprinkled cinnamon all over them, the top, the candle, and the candle holder. And that's what I'm using for one of these candle holders. Okay. So actually, so if you're going to do all 3, then you need 3 of these. If you're going to use the candle with the candle holder, then you only need to make 2 of these coin wrapper holders, okay? So in my case, I only need 2 of these, but I think I did make 3 anyway. I can't remember. Yeah, see, I made 3. And then, because I kept debating whether to use that candle holder that came with the candle or not. I liked the look of it when I put it on top of this cup. I liked the look of it. So I decided to make one of them different and two of them similar. Okay, so now that our candle holders, the coin wrappers, are dry, I'm going to distress them with my tea stain and the vintage photo color. Okay. And I'm actually going to turn these upside down. You saw me put it one way and then I flipped it over. So the part that has the rolled edge at the end of the coin wrapper, you know, it helps hold the quarters in, or the dimes or nickels or whatever. In this case, quarters. I'm going to face that up because it will have a nice snug fit for the candle when you stick it in, okay? So you're going to put the cut edge down and the chunkier edge will be up for the candle to go into, right? It will hold the candle more snug, if you will, please. Okay, so here we're just distressing these. And then I decide, you know, okay, so there they are sitting on top. Okay, all right, looking all right. And here's another finished look. I see they're all three a little different. So I decided to make little circles because the bottom of the cup is a little indented. So I just took the candlestick that had the holder. I took it and drew circles for the two, and I cut out those circles, and now I am distressing those circles and gluing on the coin wrappers. Okay, and then eventually we will glue these down to the now tops of the cup. I hope this is all making sense to you guys. I hope this is not confusing because I'm using a little different. One of the candles is a little different. Right, I'm using a little black from my ink pad to kind of, you know, make dark spots. And then I'm using the brown to, you know, go around. So there you can see I've just taken those coin wrappers and glued them to a circle that will now fit on the tops of these candle holders that we're making. See? So there. Now to me that looks more finished because of the, you can see the indentation there. So it's big enough that it will fit right along there. You know, if you don't have the third candle that I'm talking about, then just take the bottom of the cup and trace it, and there you go, right? You have a finished look for the bottom of the cup. See? Okay, so here's the one I'm talking about for the candle, the one that came with the candle holder from Dollar Tree. That came from Dollar Tree, that whole candle set did, okay? The bottom and the candle. And here I'm just going to glue this on. They come in a package of 2, and they have rubber things that you can stick to the window if you want to put them on your windows, the doors, whatever. So I decided I'm going to use one of those on the candlestick, on the candlesticks that we're making. Or candle holder, I'm sorry. So here's the third one. So see, I take the bottom because I had 2 of those candlesticks. So I take one and I draw the circle and I cut it out. I'm doing the same thing I did to the first one. I'm using a little black paint, my ink pads to grunge it up. Right, stick it, glue it to the bottom. See, it will, because we turned it upside down, the candle will now fit in there very snugly. And there they are. Okay, project number 3. Okay, here we go with project number 3. All right, so this is a box I got at the store. I brought groceries home in it, I think, from like Costco or somewhere like that, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these other cardboard strips that my husband has cut for me. And you guys, if you've seen my videos, you've seen me use these before, right? I've used these before on several other items. And I love the look of them. To me, they look like wood when I put coffee stain on them. So I'm going to take this box. I spray painted it white just because I didn't want any of the purple and stuff to come through it. Because originally I was going to lay like little slat marks, not marks, little, I guess, grooves between each of the rows. And then I decided I wasn't going to do that. That was a little too much, and then I didn't want to have to like measure them and so forth. So one thing I did do though is I took these slats that I have here. Let me measure it here for you so I can tell you how wide they are. My slats are 1.5 inches wide. Okay, so those cardboard strips you see me gluing on there are 1.5 inches wide, and the length can be any length you want. Okay, so I'm offsetting each row so that I don't have exact, so that I don't have exact areas where they end each time, right? I want them staggered. So I'm using Aleene's tacky glue here to start this project, which is okay. It dries fairly quickly, but by the end I decide to use hot glue. Okay. Because the Aleene's tacky, if I needed to move them or whatever, you could still shift them a little bit, right? But in some places they were like sticking up a little or not staying down like they should. So that's when I finally went to using the hot glue gun. Okay. So again, I'm staggering them. I'm not going to show you the whole box, but I think I want to show you a little bit here just so you get an idea of what I'm doing. And the holes that you see on the bottom there that are to the top of the screen, I cover those up with strips, right? I don't want to see those. So I just cover those up with strips, and any holes that are in there from handles that were on the box originally, I cover those up as well. The only characteristic that I maintain from the original box is that little groove that's what now is near my hand there. That groove, that little U-shaped section. Now see there I did cut it, but then I fixed it. I went back and put a whole piece of cardboard in there and covered it up. So I covered all 4 sides of the box with cardboard slats. It came out fine. I just cut what I needed. So here what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some spackle, a caulk, that white sticky stuff that you fill holes with from any of your big box stores or from Dollar Tree. And I'm going to, for one thing, I'm going to go all around the top edge and fill it in because it gives it a really cool texture in the end when it dries. And when you put the coffee stain on it, it gives a really cool, grungy texture. And I do add a little bit of the filler to the sides of the box, maybe where there's some gaps, or just to add some dimension, right, on the corners and stuff. So it turned out to be a really cool thing to add on there, right? Because when you add the coffee stain to it, it just adds a lot of cool like texture to it. And then I end up adding some paint on it to make it look like, it actually in the end looks like an old drawer because I put a handle on it. It looks like an old drawer that had paint all over it, an old wooden box that has a handle that has gotten paint on it over the years. It turns out really cool. So yeah, so I go around the top, complete top, and I fill all the little holes in it, because you know this cardboard that comes with this fruit from the grocery store, they're heavy duty boxes, right? And this box we use as a shoe box, if you will, by the front door, under a wooden bench that I have at the front door, because I can't stand shoes all over the place. It drives me bonkers. So we use this box as a shoe box. And so, of course, I got tired of looking at it. And I have some other really pretty like woven, not wicker, but woven like seagrass, or I don't know what it's made out of, what they're made out of. But anyway, so this fit right in between them. So I decided I was going to take this and I was going to, farmhouse it up. So yeah, so I go all the way around the top, and some on the corners, and some just sporadically around the edge of the box, right? And put it on, and then of course let it dry. I let it dry for like 24 hours. Hey, if you guys are watching this during the day, grab yourself a cup of coffee, have a seat, and see if you have something like this at your house that you can do this to. This turns out, I wish I had another one of these boxes. I may have to go find another one, because I really enjoyed doing it. It was fun. So here is where I've taken the top, finished it. I took it outside and sanded it with my sander. And here is after I have coffee stained it. I did video that, but it must have been a corrupt, because I could not download it to my computer. It would not take it. So the file must have been corrupt somehow, or I don't know. I couldn't get it to download. I tried it 3 or 4 times. It just wouldn't. So I apologize for not having any of that footage. But I used the coffee stain grunge recipe that I have on my community tab. And I went around and did it twice on all sides of the box. Okay. So yeah. So that's been painted on and dried with a hair dryer. Okay, so that on top of the box being sturdy itself, it now has another layer of cardboard on the outside with coffee stain on it. And now I'm using Waverly paint in the color Moss, the chalk paint in color Moss. And I'm just putting it randomly around the sides of the box, because I want it to look like an old drawer, an old box. Yeah, okay. So there's really no steps that you really need to see, because the only thing I do is just paint it. Once you let the spackle dry, I sanded it just lightly with the sander. It really didn't need much sanding, right? And then I took the coffee stain and I went around and painted all sides of the box again. And now I'm adding paint just to random spots on the box. There is no rhyme or reason as to why I'm picking spots. I just want, there's a side without any paint, and you see the white from the spackle that was on there that I coffee stained over. So now I'm just randomly adding paint to the box, to the drawer, the shoe bin, whatever you want to call it. Okay, and then once the moss is dry, we're going to go over it again with coffee stain. At least the green, where I'm painting on the paint, we're going to at least go over those areas, because I love it. I love the green, but it looked a little too new. Okay, it was a little too bright for the aging effect that I was trying to achieve. So now here I'm wiping it off thinking that's going to do something, but I really don't do that. I mean, unless you really get too much of it on there. But I'm using a a like palette brush to put the paint on, just because I don't want brush marks. You know, I don't want it to look like it's been painted on. So, and you know, that chalk paint is kind of thick anyway, right? So, so yeah, just randomly go over the box in whatever areas you feel you want to put it. And you know, if you have strips of wood, like I was actually going to use stir sticks. You can get those 5-foot stir sticks at like the big box store, Home Depot or something. I was going to use those for this. And then I'm like, you know what? I have so many of these cardboard strips. Why not use this, right? And I know you guys, you know, so if you don't want to mess with the cardboard, which I totally understand, you could use paint stir sticks to do this same exact thing on a box, right? And if you go to those big box stores and shop, you could pick up one of these boxes, or any box, you know, that's sturdy, you know, because that's heavy duty cardboard. And so yeah, I don't know, I've had it under that bench for quite some time. And I finally decided it was time to grunge it up. I hope you guys will give this a try. I hope you guys are enjoying the video today. It's a little bit longer than I usually do. I try to, you know, do about 30-minute videos, and this one's nearly an hour long. So I hope you're sticking with me. I appreciate it if you're sticking with me. Please like and subscribe and share and leave a comment, right? Leave me a comment. Tell me if you think you might want to make this, you know. If you think this is something that you would like to do. Even if you have an old box sitting around the house that, you know, an old wooden box, right? But you want to add some new life to it. You could add, you know, strips of wood. So here I'm taking some coffee stain, and I'm going over the green areas just to make them a little less faded, right? Not look so, you know, like it had just been done. So yeah, it turns out really cute. And then I add a handle to. I was going to add 2, but I decided that might have been a little too much, so I decided to just do 1 handle. So yeah, paint over the green areas, right? Grunge up the green. I even kind of wanted to add like other colors of paint. I was going to try to add gray and maybe blue. I like dark blue. See the difference between the grunged area, and I'm pointing to the difference in the grunged paint and the not so grunged. But I was going to add either some gray or some dark blue, but I didn't have the right color of dark blue, and I had been working on this for a few days now, and I was really wanting to get it done because I was tired of the shoes being all over the place at the front door since this wasn't there. So I didn't put any other color paints on it. Okay, and then you're going to need to let that dry, right? It doesn't need to dry very long, but I did let it just dry overnight because it was kind of late yesterday when I painted the inside. I painted the inside with coffee stain just so it didn't look so, because it was very light brown, you know. So I wanted it to look like it somewhat matched the outside. Okay, so I actually contemplated putting this little sign on there, and I decided it was too big. So here's the handles. So I got out 2, and I look at it, and I'm like, no, 1. And I'm like, back to 2. So I mean, it's really, it looks like a drawer if you put 2 on it, right? I mean, it definitely looks like a drawer with 1 or 2. But I decided that 2 was a little too busy, so that we would just do 1. So I actually get out, I mark the holes with a pencil, and then I get out my drill, right? I do that just because I don't want to bend the box or something by trying to push a hole through it. So I do drill the holes with my drill, and I use screws to screw it in, and I also use a little glue to help the screws and the handles stay on, okay? So, just so you're aware of that. All right, so the video is almost done. This is like the end of it, guys. If you're still here, again, I appreciate it so much. I hope you're enjoying the video. Please give it a try. And please let me know if you do. I would so love to see if somebody makes one of these. This turns out so cute. I just love it. For a free box that I got from, you know, see, there's the handle. It's on there. And then you're going to see it. There it is on my front door. See, I put it in the middle of those other those other bins have shoes in them there underneath that wooden bench. So I'm showing you all the sides here, what it looks like inside the house. There's the back. The other side. I'm going to show you along the edge of the top edge. See, so I did put some of that paint, a little bit of green along the top. Just again to make it look like it's, you know, I probably should have put some inside too, but I did not. And there's the handle. It fits perfectly in that spot. And then I dump shoes in it. I should have stood up and took a whole picture of the whole area with it, but I did not take a large view picture. I just took, you know, an immediate front view picture of it once I threw the shoes back in it. So there's my new shoe box. I love it. I love it. And I love that it was like totally free. Right? I mean, of course I paid money for whatever came in the boxes at some point, but you know, it's all recycled stuff and some paint and a little spackle. Right? It just takes a little time to make it, you know. And see that I want to show you where the handles were, and I just covered them up with the cardboard on the outside. You don't even see the handles anywhere from the inside, so I just covered them up. There are no more handles except for the one I put on the front. Guys, thanks so much for watching, and there it is full of shoes. Thanks so much for watching. Please come back soon. I post every week, and thank you. Bye.